Chapter 2. Reason and Reality. Reason. Reason is one's ability to critically analyze, make deep realistic assessment and mind adjustment to the prevailing circumstances in any aspect of life. God created man with a processing unit called the brain, which gives one the ability to think, analyze, judge, clarify, identify, differentiate, and reason in all the prevailing matters one may face, provided one is of full age, competent understanding, and of sound mind. God gave us life which has many challenges. In simple economics terms, there are limited resources on earth to satisfy one's unlimited wants. So we all compete for those resources for survival. Life is basically a struggle, and the world a battleground for survival at an individual, national, and global level. That is why we have exploitation of individuals and nations. Reality, the dictionary definition of reality, is all that happens or exists. But from my personal opinion, it is the facts as they are before you. That is, looking at things as they really are before you and not as you presume them to be. Presumption is a very limiting factor for one to base on to think progressively and prosper, because it leads to one keep on looking for a solution to a non-existent problem rather than the actual problem at hand. One's ability to think from a realistic, reasonable perspective gives them the ability to move forward in life and to survive within limited resources. Thinking realistically and reasonably gives one the ability to outcompete others using the limited resources available. One's ability to reason realistically enables them to identify the problems before them and create corresponding solutions to those problems, which is the very determinant factor of failure or success. Reason is mathematics, science, physics, chemistry, and others, all combined. Reason is absolute and direct. Reason does not give a false result, because then it ceases to be reason. It is within parameters of reason that all the rich people in the world today simply find the simplest solutions to human challenges, and they are paid in billions of dollars in return. We think to survive, but reason to prosper. God never created planes for man to fly, but gave him the brain with the reasoning capacity to create planes and fly. It is never too late to reason. The moment one applies reason and reality, they are then able to identify themselves, understand and appreciate what they realistically hold at hand, and how best they can use it for prosperity. While thinking is at the basic level, reasoning is deep. We all think to survive, but not everyone applies reason to prosperity. Once limited to thinking, we make quick, fast reactions to challenges before us, but with reason, we give the challenge a second thought, which is deep and analytical, before we react. There are so many factors by human nature, like emotions and personal desires, which affect our reasoning capacity. Emotions defeat reason, and so do personal desires. Once one fronts emotions, then they do not hold the reasoning capacity to make proper realistic analysis over the prevailing realistic circumstance or challenges at hand. Negativity defeats reason, since negativity is a direct reflection of one's feelings towards a certain challenge or life in general. Once one fronts negativity, then they do not hold the reasoning capacity to make the right decision. With emotions we do what we desire, but with reason we do what is right. Reason sounds and seems so basic, but that is where its strength lies. It is too basic to be easily understood. It takes reason to reason. The simplest solutions to problems always lie on the surface and come from within. The best approach to a complicated problem is by finding the simplest way to solve it. Reason is present in each and every element of human survival, a realistic fact. We live within limitations of our reasoning capacity. All past generations lived and achieved up to the extent of their reasoning capacity. So will the present generation and those to come. Reason stands at the center of creation and the world as we know it. Note, what I have written is a personal opinion from a reasonable and realistic point of view, which may be a fact or not, depending on the reasoning capacity of the reader.